Succession Link is a leading networking platform for financial professionals looking to buy, sell, merge, and find succession and continuity options for their practices. Hear from David Zale, founder and general partner of Zale Capital Management, and his experience utilizing the Succession Link platform to facilitate the sale of his practice to Eagle Bay Family Office.
I am the founder and general partner of Zale Capital. I'm or was a registered investment advisor. I'm a solo practitioner. I've been in the securities industry for 25 years. First as a sell-side analyst, going back into the late 90s. And then after the dot-com crash, I moved over to the buy side as a portfolio manager, and I was creating hedge fund of funds.
What were some of the factors that led you to sell your practice?
Ultimately, there were three. First was the pandemic. I wasn't seeing clients. I was a solo practitioner, and I wanted more professional communication. Number two, I lost a baby boomer client who needed more retirement and planning services, which I was not able to offer. The third was I lost an opportunity with a colleague who was gifting to his millennial children. And he said to me that they would probably like to relate to someone their own age. So here I realized that I needed to change my practice because I was working by myself. I had a baby boomer who needed more services, and I didn't have any succession plan. So anyway, I thought, okay, time to make a change. I wanted more professional communication and to just be around more people. I had enjoyed working on my own. I enjoyed seeing my clients. It was a lot of fun. And then once the pandemic hit, I didn't see anyone. And I realized that I really missed that dialogue with people. And so I just wanted to make the change.
Like, how did you even find Succession Link?
I guess I had seen it because I was looking to, years ago, either buy or merge with another firm. So I don't remember how I found it, but it's relatively accessible and I think known in the investment advisory industry. So I'd been on the side and was paying the fees and doing all of that. I was on there and I had a profile where I wanted to buy or merge. And then when I decided that I wanted to sell, I changed it from merge or buy to merge or sell. And all of a sudden I was inundated with people who were interested in my company.
So how did you prepare for that sell then? Now all of a sudden people are interested in your company. They're getting ready. Hey, we want to have this conversation with you to actually buy you out. How did you prepare for that sell?
I think the biggest part was mentally and emotionally recognizing that I was going to be moving from a practice where I was solo to one where I was working with other people, but most specifically that I was willing to accept the compliance restrictions from another firm. Having worked on my own for a long time, and prior to having started Zale Capital, I was an IAR with a couple of RIAs. So I learned about compliance and what I could and couldn't do. So I had to familiarize myself with their process, go slow, and just know that, especially in my case, if I were to find a smaller organization, then I would be able to deal effectively with the compliance. Besides changing my profile on Succession Link, I really didn't do anything. I was who I was, or I am who I am. So there was no reason for me to say to anyone, I'm prepared to do something else or be someone who I wasn't. As a matter of fact, I found that when I did change my profile, one of the things that I did do was in the paragraph section, I talked about who I was, and I was fully transparent, not just about what I was doing, but who I was, and welcome them to view my website and do whatever. The more information they had about me early on, the easier the conversation was subsequent to that. As I discovered, there were buyers who are looking at Succession Link all the time and are getting the notices as soon as profile changes. And as soon as that happened, I started to get the calls. And it all worked out. The name of the firm that I'm now affiliated with is Eagle Bay Family Office. The general partner is, or the largest partner is Michael Nelson. And he texted me just about a year ago. And so the process took about nine or 10 months where we started to talk. What I wanted to do as much as anything, I'm 69 years old and I'm not ready to retire. I love doing what I'm doing. I'm in good shape. I can do this forever. So my goal was to bring value to a new entity. I wanted the purchaser or the acquirer of me to see that I was more than just my assets. And of course, there are many firms out there that are just looking to acquire assets. They'll pay you some multiple and then they'll say, hasta la vista. I don't care what you do with your life. That wasn't what I wanted. So anyway, Michael and I started communicating in September of 2022. And Michael recognized my strengths and he validated my wants and needs. Michael asked me how old I was. And at the time I was 68. He said, David, that's great because you have knowledge and experience. He was the only one who said that. You have validating that at 68 years old, that I still have something to offer to the world, not just one of these see ya baby boomers, hasta la vista.
Yeah.
We'll play golf, which I don't do anyway. And whatever happens, happens. He said, David, I will help you in any way I can at any time. And I said to him, of course, I will do the same. So there was that validation, the empathy, the desire to work together. Not only, well, they're fully transparent. They're professionals. I work very closely with the portfolio managers. We're transitioning my portfolio over to their portfolio, and it's a different process, a different way of evaluating managers / stocks, but that's fine. We work very well together. They're terrific. And again, they validated me, not just my asset, but me. That's all I needed. It's like a marriage. That's great. To understand either who your client is or who your partner may be, it was important for him to validate who I was and important for me to be validated.
Was there a point throughout this 9 to 10 month period where it was like a tipping point to you? How did that occur in your mind?
Once I knew that I wanted to sell, I was predisposed to the right opportunity at the right time. Wasn't pushing. I wasn't anxious. Michael was not the first one I spoke with, but when he and I spoke, that first conversation validated much of what I felt I needed and wanted in an entity and a partner. So it was really from that first conversation that things just went forward and were positive.
Could you talk to a little bit more about like the terms of the deal?
I will say that they were in line with my expectations and I was realistic. And of course, that's important. We all tend to, if we're selling our house, we tend to overvalue the house. Whatever it is in life, we seem, that's just the way it is, right? For the most part, we overvalue. But again, I guess if I were 24, I might overvalue myself. But at 69, I'm just realistic about what life is. And I've gotten to this point and I said, that's it, and ready to move forward. And so I was willing to accept the terms and they were generous within the context of my expectations. They were very generous with their proposal. Money is the last thing you always talk about, right? Anything,
that's
even
if
you're negotiating, you're talking to people and you're trying to bring them in as a client. The last thing you talk about is the fee or the cost, whatever it is. The first thing is establishing the relationship. And then once you have that, then kumbaya.
Has anything really changed with you post-sale?
Well, we consummated the deal in late June. My clients are custodied at TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade was purchased by Schwab in 2019. And as of September 1st, TD Ameritrade is going away. So I've been spending this summer getting my clients over to the Fidelity platform. And certainly I've learned, even in the age of e-signature and DocuSign, that the easiest way to execute the process is actually to go to my clients. So I've been traveling. I've been up the Canadian border. I've been out to California, Colorado, Florida, you name it. And I'm also at this hard goal line with Schwab. And now I can focus on building the business and doing the other things that Michael and I had talked about. So yeah, I'm relaxed, but there are other reasons too. It's not just all related to work. I just had a grandchild and that's changed my life and other things too. So one of the nice things about doing this kind of work is that you can do it as long as you maintain your faculties and as long as you have an interest in doing, and in my case, in helping and teaching. If I were to quote retire, what do? I do the things I like to do anyway. I read. I like to read, so that is always part of my life. That's important. Reading literature and history and biographies, reading, rowing, walking, being with my grandchild and my wife and my daughter and son-in-law. Nothing will change.
So were there any unexpected obstacles or challenges you encountered during the selling process?
I had reasonable expectations. So no, there weren't really any challenges that I needed to overcome. The most important one was psychological. When I decided that I wanted to sell my business rather than buy a business, that was the biggest change. Once I knew I wanted to do that, then I just had to exercise patience and discretion.
Are you looking for your next M&A opportunity? Visit successionlink.com to search and connect with over 64,000 members on the nation's largest marketplace of financial professionals. We look forward to your success. Thanks for being a part of the Succession Link community.